Welcome to the Personality Hire, the show where Riz is the resume. Today's guest is building an online beauty empire on her terms. She's a professional makeup artist with more than 2 decades in the game, recently crowned the Fashion and Beauty Creator of the Year at the 2025 TikTok Awards. Her name is Ellen Malone, aka Ask Ellen Beauty, Miss Gorgina herself. Ellen, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I feel sort of quite humbled now.
And all the way from Adelaide, which we're so appreciative of. Shout out to our Adelaide fam listening.
Hi, South Australia. How are you? Although I am actually from Sydney. I do have to clarify. I am from Sydney, but I live in Adelaide now. Yeah.
I love
and just travel a lot. So I'm flying so much at the moment. I get on the plane and flight attendants go, "Hey, Ellen." I'm like, "Hey, what up?"
I love it.
We just keep going.
I love that you're becoming known as this high flyer because, you know, your following, your community that you've been building for years now is growing at a rapid rate, which is, as we've been chatting, I feel like we've had a podcast before the podcast, just getting to know you and everything you're up to. And it is really, really exciting. At what point, Ellen, did you realize, hey, people, this is more than makeup. People are actually connecting to me here.
I think there were just a few key videos where I went off script and, so I always found it hard to even explain to myself what it was that I wanted to do. And I knew that it was never just about the makeup and it was always going to be bigger than that. So I worked retail counters for a really long time, lots of different roles and lots of different things. And somehow what I always thought was the most interesting was the conversations that happened while I was doing people's makeup. So it wasn't just about the makeup. It's almost like, it's like a counselling session. Anyone who's worked in the beauty industry for a long time.
And that connection piece with the customer.
Yeah, it's kind of a bigger picture connection moment. And I often found myself going, I need to find a way to bottle this moment, and this needs to be the show. Yes. And I remember I was working many, many years ago in a big department store, and my manager at the time pulled me aside and she said, and she meant it as a criticism, but I took it as inspiration. She said, when you sell, it's like it's the Ellen show. And I think there was a bit of jealousy there, like, because people would literally come and groups of people would cluster around when I was selling on the floor. So it hit the point where I was trying to sell in a department store and 20, 30 people would cluster around to hear what I was saying, which is awkward. And fine when I was there for an event, fine when I was there as, this is our national makeup artist or, whatever the situation was, not so great when you're the counter chickie.
Well, it's not your fault, you're that girl.
I just went, look, I'm sorry, this is the situation. Like,
I'm shining my light, lean in.
Yeah, and it wasn't ever intentional, it just kind of happened. So so then when I went into making content, I think there was an evolution for me. I'm going to say the first year to possibly even 2 years, it was like something in me, I hadn't quite given myself permission to relax and to go, okay, let's actually go a little bit bigger and let's go a little bit deeper. And it was as I was doing Get Ready With Me is that every so often I'd find myself going, do you know what? I actually want to talk about this. I want to talk about pay inequality in the industry. I want to talk about feminism. I want to talk about coercive control in relationships.
Yes.
And it would just kind of come out, and it wasn't really intentional. And there were a few times I was going, oh, should I publish this? And then I thought, well, no, this is the mission, actually. Yeah. This is the mission. This is what I'm doing. And I mean it. And so let's publish it and see what happens. And I think that's really where the community started to change and grow and understand it wasn't just about teaching makeup. I love teaching makeup. I'm not done. I've got, more than 2 decades of experience. So there's plenty more videos where that came from. But but it wasn't only about that. It's actually, let's actually have a deeper conversation as a community.
Well, as we were saying, it's the storytelling that I love when it comes to your content. And even if you aren't a big beauty girly, like it's that storytelling, that lived experience.
I'm always so flattered when somebody messages me and they say, I don't even wear makeup, but I love your videos.
That's me.
Like, oh, that's a really lovely compliment that they're genuinely, hopefully enjoying it and getting something out of it. Yeah. Even if it's not makeup related, that they're just genuinely enjoying what I do. And I think one of the hardest challenges, weirdly enough, with content creation, and it's because I know that people love to mock influencers and I do get it, but the hardest challenge is actually allowing yourself to be authentic on camera and allowing yourself to be open on camera.
Let that guard down.
It's surprisingly challenging. Like, it's quite easy to go, hi guys, here's a lip gloss and it's shiny and this is, and cool, that's fine. Although that is also actually harder than it looks. Just saying. Just saying, if it was really that easy, everybody would do it. Yeah. Like, if everybody could make $1 bazillion just putting a lip gloss, we would all be doing it.
Exactly.
But even so, like, to go that one step further of going, I'm going to actually allow myself to be more open and vulnerable, that is challenging. And to judge that well is very challenging.
And what also I've always found so interesting about you is, like myself, you've had very much a non-linear career.
Yes.
You've reinvented yourself multiple times. Tell me a little bit about that journey before TikTok and how you came to be in this space.
Yeah. So I grew up, I'm the child of a performer and an artist. So I always had like visual and musical, growing up. So I grew up backstage on shows, doing hair and makeup for shows, and I didn't really intend to become a makeup artist. Like, I had a knack for it and I really enjoyed it, but I really wanted to be on stage. That was really the goal. And so I started working in makeup and I loved it, but there was always that part of me going, but I'm supposed to be on stage. What am I doing? I'm a performer.
That inner knowing.
Yeah, that inner knowing. And I would come home from the makeup counter and be telling everybody stories about my day, and my mother would be going, you need to be a makeup entertainer of some sort. And I'm like, Mum, that is not a job, because it wasn't. This is early 2000s. We barely had internet. We still had dial-up. So, YouTube didn't exist, and like Facebook didn't even exist yet. So I had this very non-linear career where I had my performing life and my singing life as sort of part of my life, and a bit of presenting work and various things that came up with that. And then the makeup work was almost completely separate. And then I started doing jobs where they'd have me as like a masterclass presenter, or they'd have me like on stage in a department store with a microphone, like talking to the crowd and doing makeup for the crowd and all of that. And they were always the jobs where I really thrived and I did my best, and I would say I was probably more at peace in those roles. But there was always that part of me going, no, but I'm supposed to be doing something bigger, and I'm supposed to be doing something different. And when YouTube hit, I was at uni, I was very poor. I was I barely had enough money to like buy my groceries every week. So I couldn't even afford to buy a camera. And I remember looking at it going, I need to be doing that.
Yes.
And I knew it. And everybody said, Ellen, you should be doing these makeup videos. I think you'd be great at it. What people don't remember is that the perception of that was so different back then. It was almost looked down on. It was almost like, oh, well, you're not a real makeup artist. And, that's just like being an influencer. It was like a dirty word. I think for some people it still is. And the pro community, particularly the makeup community, really looked down on beauty creators, which is awful. But that was sort of how it was. But I remember kind of going, but I kind of want to do that.
Yeah.
And I always got a bit stuck with like the technology and the editing and the filming and the this and the that, because back in the day it wasn't as easy as it is now. Like these days you can just buy an iPhone and set it up and film it off your trot. But that wasn't how it was. And so I had this quite long period of time where I knew deep down that this is what I should be doing. And there was always a reason not to do it today, because the truth is it's scary. Like, people don't want to admit it, but it is, becoming a content creator is scary. Stepping out of your comfort zone in that way is scary. Stepping into the public eye is a little bit scary. And so it was always this, something will come along where I'll be able to just slot into it. And then early 2020, COVID hit. I got COVID really early. I got really sick. And I'm a bit dramatic, as you can probably tell. And I had that moment of like, oh my gosh, what if I'm the person that doesn't make it? And I had a real come to Jesus moment. And I went, you know what, God, if you let me through this is what I want to do with my life.
Yeah, wow.
And I want to do these makeup videos. I've been talking about it forever, and this is what I really, really want to do. And the best thing in the whole world happened. I got fired.
Oh.
So, made redundant, technically.
Beautiful.
And
this is the turning point. This is the moment.
Yeah. And I was running a salon, and the company I was working for, I was also presenting on the shopping channel. Like, I was selling hairstyling tools on the shopping channel.
Yeah, shout out.
Top selling air app show of all time, just quietly.
Yes.
But so they kept me for that, but the salon bit they had to shut down. And I was looking for a job. Everybody was looking for a job at the same time. It was impossible. And the only job ad that answered me back was a small beauty company that wanted someone to come and make TikToks for them. And I didn't know how to shoot, and I didn't know how to edit, but I needed a job, and I knew I could talk. And I thought, okay, so I talked my way in. I had to teach myself how to do everything. And everybody in the office was kind of going, look, I can help you plug in a light. They're trying their best to help me. And I went viral really quickly. It would have been only maybe 2 weeks into the job. Yeah. I went viral because I started publishing videos without permission. And I waited until my boss was off sick one day, and then I published a whole bunch of videos that he had said no to expressly. And they were the videos that went viral, and I went, oh, hang on, I think I might be good at this. Yeah. And it was so quick. Like, all of a sudden people were recognizing me on the street. All of a sudden people were recognizing me when I went to order lunch. Like, it was just so clear, this is your next shot and you need to take it. And so I quit that job. I took a corporate sales job, which was hard, emotionally was hard, because, you know, you want to just quit it and jump in, but, you know, everyone's got to make money.
Especially when you just had that moment of leaning in so authentically and being lit up. You know, that probably was a very important sort of, when you look back, sort of turning point.
And
to
be honest, I thought I'd made a dud call because I'd really blown up on this channel that I was running. And then I took the corporate sales job and I started filming at night and I didn't blow up. And I went, I had lightning in a bottle and I lost it. And that first year I really thought that I had made the wrong decision and I'd gone the wrong way. And then I went, okay, well, I'm here now. I've just got to do the best that I can with what I've got. And I would say the next really big turning point, because again, you've got to remember, you live life forwards, but you understand it backwards. The next big turning point was that my flatmate had to move to get a job, and I didn't like anyone. Everybody that I interviewed for the room, I just didn't like them. And my boyfriend said to me, Ellen, you don't want a flatmate, that's your studio. And you know, like if you're struggling with a rent or whatever, I'll help you, but that's your studio. You don't get a flatmate, you go film in there. And it looking back now, I'm like, well, of course you do that. But at the time, it felt really risky. Like COVID was a very unstable time, was very unstable financially. And, you know, the idea of having to pay for the whole flat on my own was scary. Yeah, so it was really just that, like those moments that looking back now don't seem that scary, but at the time they were scary, to lean in and to go, no, this is really what I'm doing, and set up the studio. And then you're going, okay, do I do the proper camera? Do I do the nice shelves? Do I do this? Do I do that? But the big thing I wanted to say about all of that is that I know it probably seems obvious when you look at somebody who's got a channel and they've got success and they've got all of these things, that of course you would do that. But when it's you living it and those things don't exist yet, it's all scary at the time.
Yes.
And it all feels like a big step at the time. Like when we went down to buy all my shelves for my studio and build the whole studio, I was nervous. It was quite a big financial outlay. It meant that I was committing to the fact that I wasn't going to have a flatmate and I'm paying all the rent on my own. Like it wasn't easy at the time.
But the thing is, Ellen, I'm so glad you're saying this, because I feel like when people, particularly creators online, they blow up and it's almost as if it's happened overnight for them.
Yeah.
That very much... Really, that is never the case.
Very rarely.
There is a lot of hustle, a lot of grind, a lot of risk, a lot of tears, sweat and grind in the background that you're not seeing. And what would you say to someone who is very much wanting to put themselves out there in that vein, but just doesn't quite have the confidence? Because another aspect is, I think people think, you know, maybe people like myself and you that have these personalities, that we don't experience any fear. Whereas I was saying to you, oh, we do have the fear.
Confidence is doing it afraid.
That's the thing.
Do it afraid.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. You will never wake up and go, I am perfectly confident and everything is perfectly ready. That day does not ever happen. And when I was first filming, like I was filming in a corner of my bedroom, I felt silly. I had my flatmate faffing around outside. I'm distracted, you know, like I wasn't in there going, wow, this is all going really well. You will absolutely flop at the start. And if you have an attitude that goes, you know, I've tried it one time and it didn't work and now I'm going to like crawl into a heap in the corner, you're not going to get there. Where a lot of creative people struggle is that they're often very, very gifted, but they don't just get out there and have a go. They're so busy overthinking. They're so busy being a perfectionist. They're so busy worrying about how that they don't do it. And meanwhile, the person who's got a third of the ability as a makeup artist is going way past them because they just hit post. Yeah.
You just personally attacked Jodie in her 20s.
That's all right. I also attacked me in my 20s, frankly. So
where were you 10 years ago, Ellen? I needed you a decade ago, honey.
But this is what happens is that, okay, I'm going to attack me in my 20s again.
Yes.
Intelligent people are the worst. You're the worst. Intelligent people, gifted people, you are the worst, because what happens is the bar you have in your head is so high for what you should be able to do, for the polish, for how it should be, that you just don't do it at all. And meanwhile, somebody who is less intelligent than you, who just didn't get in their own way and just filmed it, posted it and went, yeah, whatever, they go past you.
Yeah. And doors are opening for those people, for those that have the audacity to just put themselves out there.
Yes, and audacity, I hate to say, beats talent. But if you have talent and audacity, you can go really far. And so, you know,
I love that. Say that again, talent and audacity.
Yes. So audacity will beat talent.
Yes.
Sorry, it will. But if you have both, if you have talent and audacity, you can go really far.
I love that.
But if you're a gifted person, you cannot afford to be sitting at home going, oh, I could do it better than that. I could do it better than that. So do it then.
Guys, just put yourselves out there. Start hitting post.
Yep.
In that vein, how do you keep going on the tough days? When mentally, because there's going to be days, sure, when you don't feel like being on camera. You
Constantly.
don't feel like putting your glam on.
Oh, yeah.
But let's say you've got this commitment with a brand.
Yeah.
You know you need to show up. And as you said, the people winning are those that continue to show up day in, day out. How do you push past that mental barrier?
Yeah. So, okay, fun fact. I suffer from migraines, and last week I had to film a brand deal, and the way it worked out with my schedule is there was only one day I could do it, and I filmed it with a migraine. And you do not know, if you watch that video back, and do you know how fun it is sitting in bright studio lighting with migraine?
Oh,
do not advise. And I have all the meds and I have all of the stuff, and then the cost is then the migraine's going to go longer, and but you have to be able to, when you work for yourself, people are like, oh, you just sit around all day. No, you choose what 80 hours a week you work. And you have to be a very, very self-motivated person to work for yourself in any industry. It's not just content creation, but any industry, you have to be extremely disciplined. And the truth is, even the dream job has things about it where you go, I don't want to do it, right? And you have days that you're not in the mood. You have days where it's, you're not feeling on and you're not feeling inspired and all of that. But you have to get to a point where your base level is still good enough so that even if it's not the perfect day and the unicorns are not aligned and Mercury is not in Gatorade for you that day, like, you have to be good enough that on your bad day it's still good. So the only way you do that is just by doing it all the time and just pushing yourself to it. So like in the last quarter of last year, transparently, I had a really, really challenging period of time with work. Good positive problems, but really challenging. I had everything happen at the same time. I had the TikTok Awards, which was great, but very time consuming. I had a huge amount of brand deals due all at the same time. It just worked out that way on the timeline. And then I had the peak season for events, and all of these things are blessings and they're all things I'm really grateful for. But when it all happens at the same time,
it's a lot.
It's a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
And there were times I was sitting in my studio filming and I had my partner there with the iPad holding up the talking points for the video.
Shout out to Chris. He's a real one.
That is the reality, is be careful what you wish for. And even the dream job has bits that are hard.
Yeah.
And that's normal. And that never, ever, ever goes away.
Yeah.
Even if you are doing the most cool, I think my job is the most cool dream job ever. I love it.
Yeah.
But even if you are doing the dream job, there are parts of that are genuinely really hard.
And I'm glad you're saying this, Ellen, because I think a lot of people like to romanticize content creators, particularly, people in beauty and fashion. Like, once you make it, it's all glamorous. But, I feel like as the stakes increase, it is a lot of pressure, and there's a drive that you need to keep going.
It's a mental pressure. So it's, and I'm not saying, poor me, like that's not where we're going. It's 5:19, try making it is for today. That's not where we're going. But, I think, I think there's a perception, because of the way that content is presented, that it looks as though you just kind of sit around and stick on a lip gloss and press post.
Yes.
And there is a percentage of that, definitely. And there is also a percentage of the job that is extraordinarily privileged. And that is absolutely true. But there is a weird mental pressure that comes with that your job is completely reliant on how people feel about how you talked about a lip gloss. Which is a weird pressure to be under, and to have to be so aware of everything you're saying and so aware of how you're saying everything. The internet is infamously intolerant with any little slip and thing that you say, so you're having to be so conscious all the time.
Yes.
I'm talking about a moisturizer for oily skin, but some people have dry skin and some people can't get, whatever, like you're always having to do all these disclaimers to make sure that you've included every single possible situation in a video, because people will go, well, I can't wear eyeliner.
The eczema girlies are going to come for you.
Yes. Like, I did a series on hooded eyes. So I had a Botox accident a few years ago.
Okay.
And the injector was not paying attention, and she accidentally double injected above my eyebrow here. And so that eyebrow really dropped. So then they had to drop the other one so that they match. And thankfully I didn't have the full lid ptosis thing, but my eyebrows really dropped, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to do a hooded eye series because I now have hooded eyes. Thank you, injector, really helpful. And anyway, thank heavens it wears off. But I did a whole hooded eye series, and the comments I got from people going, "That's not a hooded eye. You can't even see my eyelid. I have a true hooded eye. What about this? What about that?" Because hooded eyes do come in different shapes and sizes. You get your true monolids, which is a very particular shape, but you also get partially hooded and all different things. So every single video, I had to relax my brows and do this and go, for those of you who say I haven't got hooded eyes, this is the hood. No, they're not completely obscured. Yes, you can still partially see my lid. Yes, some people have more hooded eyes than me. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now that we've cleared that up, I'm going to show you how to do your eyeliner or do whatever it is. But like, you've never seen so many angry people in a comment section as when I said I have hooded eyes and this is how I do my eyeliner, when I did in fact have hooded eyes.
Do you think that element also scares people? Is the unpredictability of the internet, and they would rather just steer clear of all of that mess?
Yeah, and you have to be okay with it. Like,
do you need a thick skin, would you say?
Yeah, I don't tend to do intentionally rage bait content. I think it's not fun being on the receiving end, honestly. I've had a few videos go viral for those kinds of reasons, and it's awful. And you will have thousands and thousands of people hurling abuse at you. And where I do want to just bring some balance to the whole conversation about, is influencing hard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm going to say up front, there are so many jobs that are so much harder. There are so many jobs that should get paid more. Teachers and childcare workers, I'm looking at you. Emergency workers, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
All of those things are absolutely true. That doesn't mean it's open season on this one random industry that happens to be a female-dominated industry, by the way.
And also, in that vein, it's also society that loves to put celebrities, social media personalities, entertainers on this platform, but once they're on it, we also love to tear them down.
Yeah.
So where does the responsibility lie?
Yeah, and I think where the imbalance comes is if you're talking about somebody who is an extraordinarily successful celebrity, right? That is a totally different level of privilege and wealth.
Yes.
And whilst I don't really like kind of taking pot shots at anyone, it probably feels more like fair game to take a pot shot at someone who's got a massive mansion in Beverly Hills. Yeah. So I do get that. But the reality is that those people are only, in a sense, a figurehead for an organisation behind them that's making a lot more money. And the people who are really making a lot more money are not always the people you see as the face. They're not always the person in the public eye. And, you think about like Chapel Roan talking about artists trying to get fair pay for artists.
Yes.
So many artists are so horribly underpaid, even though they're commercially extraordinarily successful. So, and nobody's busy having a go at, the recording company that's put them in that terrible position.
Yes.
They're having a go at that person who is the public face of it just because that's who they can see.
Weighing up all of these things we've discussed, is it a career path that you would recommend to young women?
No.
Okay, cool.
Unless you're supposed to. You know it's your thing, and you know inside. So influencing is very similar in terms of the risk factor to like modeling, to being an actor, to being a singer, to any of those creative jobs, in that the people who you're looking at that have made like heaps and heaps of money and they're super successful, that is the minority. That is a very, 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 very small percentage doing that. And there's a whole lot of people who are all just kind of having a go and they're trying their best, but they're having to work a second job, they're having to do something else.
Yes.
So similar to those industries, I would say if you have a viable career that you can happily do, where you can make like solid money and you have some sort of job security and you're happy to do it, you should probably go and do that.
Yeah.
And you should only be doing this job if you absolutely desperately want to, and you just know deep down, I think I'm supposed to really do that.
Yeah.
Because it is a bit of a high risk job.
Yes.
And it is, to quote Kimberly Kardashian, it is a full-time job. It's very time consuming and it's not quite as easy as it might appear.
Yeah. Unless you're waking up every day with this burning desire.
Yeah.
Do you think relatability and being able to just have that natural effervescence on camera, is that more important than, I guess, hard skill?
Yes. It is a charisma job. Like, it helps a lot if you've got skill as well. But I would argue that a lot of the top beauty YouTubers didn't start out with great makeup skills. They started out being a really entertaining person, and then the makeup skills have evolved over time.
Yeah.
You know,
but people have been drawn to them.
To them, to their personality, to the way that they do things, to the way that they say things, you know, that they're just an entertaining person. And, you know, and in my case, I came in already as a pro artist, but my own makeup skills have evolved even in the time that I've been working, because when you're working on camera, I'll tell you something, the camera sees everything. Every little detail, every little spot, every little lash, and also the audience sees everything and they'll let you know. So they'll go, your lip liner looks wonky. You're like, yeah, all right. You know?
Let me live down.
Why didn't you blink your smoky eye more? Look, I ran out of time, all right? And I just had to post. So, you know, the camera is a really good teacher. I will say, if you're somebody who is learning to do makeup, whether you're doing makeup on other people, whatever the situation is, photograph everything and film everything, because the camera is such a great teacher, and you will see things with the camera that you do not see with your naked eye, that you'll go, oh, that colour match isn't quite right, or that blush isn't quite right, or I need to extend that eyeliner a bit more, or those eyebrows, what's happening there? You know, so it's a wonderful teacher.
If you were hitting restart today, starting your career from scratch, particularly around, you know, your online presence, you had no followers, what would you do? What would you do differently, I should say?
I would go into let's put it this way. I would probably be able to go into my more open and authentic content faster. Like, for me, it really did take a little minute. I think I was working in a day job that took a lot of emotional energy, and so it was hard to find that place in myself when I got home. You know, I'd be getting home and going, right, I've got to go and film. I think because I've had more practice, I'd find it easier to go in and just go hard from day one and not pull back and not be apologetic. Yeah. That's the biggest thing.
And I think also with that balance, people that do have this yearning to have a second business or a side hustle, it's trying to find that balance of, okay, how can I pull back from other areas in my life to bring this passion point in? And I think
you just have to squish it in as well is the real answer, because most people have to work full time. Most people have other responsibilities. A lot of people have families. A lot of people have, you know,
dependents,
health conditions, all different stuff. And there is no perfect time. And, you know, for me, I was going through quite a serious chronic health condition the whole time. And I do still have some health stuff, which I don't make a big fuss about because I can't do much about it, and I just keep on rolling. But, you know, there is no perfect time. And I'm a bit of a believer that necessity is a mother of invention. And if you're really, really determined to do something and it's what you really want, you find a way somewhere.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, like, not everybody can sit down and go, I've got 4 hours to film a video, but maybe there's a little quick one you can do. You know, maybe there is a way of doing content. So that's the other thing I would challenge is I think a lot of people go, oh, I want to be a content creator, but I don't like talking on camera. Or I want to be a content creator, but I don't have all that time. And I'm like, okay, if you're really serious about it and this is really what you want to do, there are other ways of making content that isn't my style of content. You might do better with a little behind the scenes film of a completed face of makeup. You might do better with a little quick one hack at a time kind of a video. You might do better just with a different style. So like one of my colleagues, I think he goes by Johnny on online, Johnny Thorpe, wonderful makeup artist. So he doesn't particularly like being on camera. So his videos are always of his hands doing makeup on a model, and then he does a voiceover. But he is an ex-photographer. He's got wonderful skills as a cinematographer, and the videos are so beautiful that you don't even notice he's not on camera. Like there's like magnetic to watch.
Yeah.
And he's found a way of making content that works for him and works for his temperament.
Yeah.
And works for the way that he likes to do it. Like there isn't just one way of doing content.
Yeah.
And I think they'll see a creator that they really like and go, well, I have to do it the same as that creator. Yeah. But the truth is you've got to do it like you.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to kind of copy paste somebody else.
That's how you're going to bring in your people, by just being authentically yourself. We've actually gone completely just on a whole other trajectory.
We've tangented.
But I've been loving the tangent because it's been so valuable for the career space and all of our listeners, our young girly pops listening that look up to you and want to know, how do I step into that world? How do I step into that space? And you're giving them really tangible, real advice.
Yeah.
You know?
But also there's nothing wrong with it. If you tried it and it's not for you, there's so many things to do in life. And it's about finding where you sit that you are at peace and that you can just do that all day. Like for me, I can talk about makeup all day.
It's really about leaning into your strengths.
Yes.
And I think so many times when we're in these rigid corporate environments, they're always trying to improve our weaknesses rather than play to our strengths. Which is a terrible
management strategy, by the way.
Oh,
terrible.
Like, play to your strengths.
Just let people do what they're great at and stop trying to force me to do an Excel spreadsheet already.
We are not Excel spreadsheet girlies.
No. Chris is wonderful at that. He'll like color code and have different things in it and formulas and this and that. But, it's, I think in order to be able to sustain something for, 40 hours a week, however many hours a week you work, you have to be really interested in it and it has to come easily to you.
Yes.
I have a theory, which is I think you have your inner person, your true inner person, and your like ego. And I think sometimes people are allowing their ego to tell them what they think they should be doing as opposed to listening to their true inner person. Because the inner person knows.
Yeah, that inner knowing.
Your knower in there. It knows. And I think that with any career that appears flashy in some regard, right? Whether it's you're an actor or whether you're an influencer or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Things that appear to have a flashiness to them.
Yes.
Oftentimes people will try to force themselves to do it because their ego says that they should, even though really, really deep down inside, they kind of know that that's not what they actually enjoy doing and it's not really what they want.
Yeah.
And
they've probably got people in their ear as well, Ellen, like family, friends, people in their ear that might be telling them to stay on the tried and true path, do X, Y, Z, and it can be hard to block out that noise.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having a reliable career path. Like, I would say to anybody who wants to work in a creative job, because creative jobs are unreliable, it is really important to have something that you can reliably do that makes money, whatever that is. Yeah. So
you got to support yourself.
I'm not saying quit the day job. I'm not saying go and be a starving artist. I'm a huge believer that in order to be a successful artist, you have to make some money because artists need tools.
Yes.
So, I don't want you homeless. Like, get that bag. You do what you got to do to pay the bills. I would never criticize that ever in a million years. But as far as the creative bit of the job goes or the aspirational bit of the job goes, that's where you have to really, really listen to yourself and go, am I being honest with myself that is actually really what I want to do and that I'm really, really suited to it? Because you do know deep down, like as soon as beauty videos became a thing, I still remember my very lovely friend Pam Andrews, who I'm sure will listen to this. She's a beautiful singer friend of mine. She said, Ellen, these beauty videos, you should be doing that. And inside I went, yes, I should.
Yeah. And also, as you said to me before, when we were having our podcast, before the podcast, people don't care. Observers don't care as much as you think they do.
No.
They're too besotted with what's going on with them.
Yeah, they're doing them. Like, the only people who care are people who care about, your safety and well-being, obviously. So your close friends and family hopefully will care just because they want you to be okay.
Yes.
But beyond that, no one cares.
Yeah, no one cares.
So you may as well go and do what you wanted.
Yeah. Let's get into our rapid Riz round. All right, first up, what beauty rule should we all be breaking?
To wear less makeup. Stop it. Just
I love it.
Stick some paint on. What are you doing?
What's the
less isn't more. More is more.
More is more. More is more.
Yep.
What's the funniest comment you've seen on one of your videos?
They do make me cackle a lot. Every time Chris is in my videos, they say, "Is your boyfriend single?"
Oh,
and I'm like, hilarious, but also no. Yeah, I like that. But
we love all the comments
what
about
comes
Chris.
up all the time?
Yeah.
Did your makeup lesson cancel again? You should get a cancellation fee. You should put a cancellation fee. Yeah, that's every
so
time.
guys, it's not original. It's not original, guys.
Yeah.
Who is absolutely nailing their glam right now? Who are you loving? Who do you look at and you're like, damn, she ate that. She ate.
Chapel Roan.
Chapel Roan. Oh, I love Chapel Roan.
Yep. Really creative, really interesting,
Yeah.
really beautiful glam. I will also say honourable mention, Sabrina Carpenter. Stunning. I love the hair. I love the clothing. I love the makeup. I think it's Carolina Gonzalez from memory as the artist. Just wonderful. She always looks absolutely fantastic. And
beautiful.
The team's nailing
Shout out
that.
to those two ladies who are no
to
doubt
their team.
Yeah.
To their team.
Oh yes, no, I love that. The
Gentle
ladies
reminder.
and their team. Shout out to the teams.
Yep.
Who don't get enough credit.
Because this is the thing is that, like, when we look at these incredible artists and, with this with their incredible glam and their public image, somebody else made that.
Yes.
Somebody else made that. So you look at J-Lo, right? Who is
I love her
she
glow.
is so famous
the J-Lo
for
glow.
the glow. Do you want to know what it is? It's underpainting.
Underpainting.
It's underpainting. It's not Illuminator. It's underpainting, and it was done by Scott Barnes. It's the same method I do.
Shout out to Scott Barnes.
Okay.
He really needs
to...
So,
like, God bless JLo. I think she's an incredibly talented, beautiful woman. But shout out Scott Barnes. You love the JLo glow? No. You like Scott Barnes' work.
Yeah, she wouldn't be JLo without Scott Barnes.
Oh,
and
stunning.
On that note, can we just quickly segue into Zara Larsson's rebrand?
Yes, I'm enjoying that.
Because, again, her makeup artist
sparkle.
I
love the sparkle.
Has completely transformed her career.
Yep. Because she's given her a distinctive public image. And this is the thing, is that with models and celebrities and actors and all of those people, that public image is something that is thought about, and it is marketed, and it is manufactured. And when they get it right, when the glam team gets it right, it is the making or breaking of someone. And, you know, I think people really underestimate how much influence that can have on someone's career.
Yes.
And even that, because her makeup style is so distinctive now, you know, with all the rhinestones and everything, I would like to point out, I was wearing rhinestones before it was fashionable.
Yeah.
But, you know, but it's so distinctive. Then, of course, you get all of these recreation videos, and it means that straight away you have this signature, you know, bombshell, blonde, tall, sparkle, colour. Done. Yeah. And that is her image now. And it is, you know, it's so successful. So that's the thing, is that the glam team, they have to be marketers, and they have to have an instinct and a gift for looking at someone and understanding this is what the public image should be to make the most of that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And make them memorable.
And it is a vision. One beauty product you defend like it's your child.
Ombre Elise.
Oh.
Yeah, original lait creme concentrate.
I
take her
love that product.
So
That's
I'll tell you something about that.
Yes.
I can use her as a cleanser. So if I'm going traveling and I don't have enough space in my bag, that is the only thing that goes, that and sunscreen, basically.
Yes.
Maybe in my cellar. Like, let's be real, I always take extras. But like, that is what goes in the bag, because I can use that with a hot face washer, and I can take all my makeup off with it. I can use it as a primer. I can use it as a mask. I can use it on my body. I have rosacea. It doesn't flare my skin up. It's so calming, and it can carry a heavy glam. So there's something about Ombre Elise, that heavy makeup. I wear a lot of makeup. Heavy makeup sits particularly well over it, because what you put under it makes such a difference to how your makeup like wears and carries throughout the day.
Oh, cannot be.
I'm never without it.
I'm such a skincare girly, and that's like one of my all times. All right, hard skills or personality? What actually cuts through?
Online? Personality.
Yeah.
All the way. Like, if you're
I knew you'd be on my team.
If you're entertaining, you can film a random thing sitting in your car just having a little chat.
Yeah.
If you're not entertaining, you can edit the bejesus out of it. Still, no one wants to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you. You're just the best. You are such a perfect guest for the Personality High, and I think everyone tuning in is going to take so much away from this conversation, Ellen. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
So much fun.
I hope it's been helpful. But yeah, that's if I could give you one thing, it'd be, if this is really, really what you want to do, you've got to just get over yourself and post a video, and you will flop for a while, and that's okay.
Flop City, baby. We're all about it. Flop confidently and with pizzazz. And
yes, you know, Winston Churchill very famously said that success is going from failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm.
I love that. Ellen, for those of us living under a rock, can you look down that barrel and just tell the people out there, tell the person listening to this, how they can connect with you online?
So it is Ask Ellen Beauty on all socials. I'm on all social media, same handle everywhere, and I'd love to have you there. Ask me your beauty questions.
And if you want to connect with me, you can find me at Personality Podcast on TikTok, Instagram. Let me know what you think of the episode, and if you're vibing the show, make sure you rate and subscribe. It really helps us grow, and we'll see you next time.